Bhagavat Premno Hibija Pradam Vancha Kalpa Turbischa Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dandavat. Good morning, devotees from Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission in Salt Lake City, Utah. We are continuing in the absence of Srila Kadidi with readings, morning readings. So we are currently reading Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, and we are still, now we're in chapter 2, as well as Divine Guidance, which Haridev Prabhu will continue reading as well. So continuing with chapter 2. Purve Brahma Janmilena Napi Padma Hoite Tatapiha Shaktinai Kichui De Kite Tabe Abe Sarva Bhave Laila Sharana Tabe Prabhu Kripaya Dilena Darashana Tabe Krishna Kripaya Shpurila Saraswati Tabe Se Janila Sarva Avatarashtiti. Prabhu, can you turn the slide up a little bit?
Yes.
In the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma was born from the lotus, sprouted from the navel of Lord Vishnu. Still, he has no power to see anything. When Brahma took full shelter of the Lord, then out of compassion the Lord appeared before him. Then, by the mercy of Krishna, Brahma received transcendental knowledge so that he could understand the various incarnations of the Supreme Lord. Seven different lives of Brahma are described in the Mahabharata. Besides being born from the lotus, Brahma was also born from the mind, eyes, speech, ear, nose, and egg. When Brahma was born from the lotus, he opened his eyes and could not see his worshipable Lord. He then took shelter of the Supreme Lord and was able to see him. Therefore it is stated in the Vedas, the Katha Upanishad, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Na Medasaha Nabuhuna Shrutena Yam Evaisha Vrinute Tena Labhyas Tashaishatma Vivrinute Tanum Svam. The Supreme Lord is not obtained by expert explanations, by vast intelligence, or even by such hearing. He is obtained only by one who he himself chooses. To such a person he manifests his own form. Hena Krishna Chandrara Durjnena Avatara Tana Kripa Binakara Shakti Janibara. Lord Krishna's incarnations are very difficult to understand. Who has the power to understand them without his mercy? Achincha Agamya Krishna Avatara Leela Se Brahma Bhagavate Apane Kahila. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma concludes that the pastimes of Krishna's incarnations are inconceivable and inaccessible. When Mother Jashoda saw the universe within the mouth of her son, she offered her obeisances to him as follows. I offer my respects to the form of the inconceivable and unmanifest, who is without qualities, but who is the soul of all qualities, the form holding all the universes, the Supreme Brahman. Lord Brahma also declares that the Lord's pastimes are inconceivable and incomprehensible in the 10th canto, 14th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Ko veti bhumam bhagavan paratmam yogeshvaro tir bhavatas trilokyam kva vakatam vakati vakadeti vishtarayam kridasi yogamayam. O Supreme Great One, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, Master of all mystic power, your pastimes are taking place continuously in these three worlds. But who can estimate where, how, and when you are employing your spiritual energy and performing these innumerable pastimes? No one can understand the mystery of how your spiritual energy acts. Kaun hetu Krishna Chandra Karyavatara Kara Shakti Ache Tattva Janite Tahara. Who has the ability to know why Krishna Chandra incarnates? Tatapi Sri Bhagavate Gitaya Yekaya Taha Liki Ye Nimiti Avatara Hoya. Still, I am giving whatever reasons are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. People who are on the path of ascending knowledge try to find the cause of the activities in this material world. That this material world is the effort of someone's actions is very difficult to comprehend. Yet the author appropriately explains the cause of all causes as revealed by Lord Krishna to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the ripened fruit of desire tree of Vedic literature. The author explains the cause of Lord Krishna's advent by following in the footsteps of the Vedic literature, rather than making his own personal endeavor. Srila Kaviraj Goswami, however, has ascertained these causes as secondary and meant particularly for devotees following the process of regulative devotional service. Kaviraj Goswami says that these incarnations of Vishnu are naimitika, or occasional incarnations. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata adbhutanam adharmasya tadatmanam shinjamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendants of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. This is a famous verse. Paritranaya sadunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samshtapanartaya sambhavi.
I'm sorry.
Dharma samshtapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. Dharma parabhavahaya yakane yakane adharmira prabalata bade dine dine sadhujana raksha dushta vinasha karane Ramadi Prabhura Paye Kare Vishna Pane. Whenever there is a decline in religious principles and irreligion becomes more prominent day by day, at that time the demigods headed by Brahma pray at the feet of the Lord to protect the sadhus and destroy the miscreants. When the living entities who are averse to the Lord remain in the midst of temporary sense enjoyment, their material conceptions gradually increase. From Satya to Treta to Dwapara Yuga, religious principles gradually diminish and the propensity for material enjoyment gradually increases. At the same time, due to a lack of religious activities, irreligious activities become more prominent. The ascending process is a form of irreligion because in this process there is no service attitude towards Sri Adhoksaja. The pure devotees of the Lord who are engaged in the service of Adhoksaja are always disturbed by the conditioned living entity's irreligious endeavors. The mental speculators consider themselves rich and powerful by 5 opulences: gambling, drinking, illicit sex, animal slaughter, and gold. Thus they attempt to attack the Absolute Truth, who descends for the eternal benefit of the living entities. In order to check such endeavors of the mental speculators and make them slip from their path, the unlimitedly powerful destroyer of nescience and bewilderer of the demons, the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Vishnu, incarnates. In this way, Lord Brahma offers prayers at the lotus feet of the Lord in every millennium. So here it says, the mental speculators consider themselves rich and powerful by 5 opulences: gambling, drinking, illicit sex, animal slaughter, and gold. Tabe Prabhu Yuga Dharma Shtapana Karite Sangopange Avatirna Hana Pritivite. The Lord then appears in this material world with his associates and paraphernalia in order to re-establish the principles of religion. When Lord Brahma, the creator and regulator of the universe, prays for the Lord's incarnation for the benefit of the entire universe, the absolute personality of Godhead descends along with his associates from his abode in Vaikuntha into the material world. The pure devotees know that re-establishing religious principles appropriate for the particular time is one of the purposes for the Lord's advent. The function of the Naimitiki Leela avatars is to re-establish the principles of religion or Yuga Dharma. Kali Juge Dharma Hoy Hari Sankirtana Etad Arte Avatirna Sri Sachinandana. The religious principle for the age of Kali is the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Sri Sachinandana incarnates to establish this principle. The living entities are delivered by the process of meditation in Satya Yuga, fire sacrifice in Treta Yuga, worship of the Lord in Dwapara Yuga, and congregational chanting of Lord Hari's names in Kali Yuga. Lord Sri Sachinandana appeared in this world to propagate this congregational chanting. So in Satya Yuga was fire sacrifice, Treta Yuga, meditation in Satya Yuga, fire sacrifice in Treta Yuga, worship of the Lord in Dwapara Yuga, and in Kali Yuga is the congregational chanting of the holy names. So in Satya Yuga also people's lives were so much longer, so we hear, that they would go into the mountains and meditate for 10,000 years or something like that. Or in Treta Yuga, the fire sacrifices. So we also hear about the fire sacrifices in Mahabharata and the Srimad Bhagavatam, these great horse sacrifices and Ashwamedha sacrifices that were so amazingly when you hear about it, you can't. It's just astonishing. But in this particular age that we're in, we have this grace that by chanting the holy names of the Lord, then that is our dharma for this age. Ekahe Bhagavata Sarva Tattvasara Kirtana Nimita Gora Chandra Avatara. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Gaurachandra, incarnates to propagate the chanting of the holy names. The people in this age of Kali are engaged in arguments that result in various quarrels. In order to benefit these people, Sri Gaura Sundar propagated the congregational chanting of the Lord's holy name, which is the Supreme Absolute Truth, the destroyer of all illusion, and the form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed that Sri Gaura Sundar is the essence of all truths, the Supreme Absolute Truth, and the personification of Sankirtan. Iti Dwapara Urva Isha shtuvanti jagadishwaram nana tantra vidhanena kalavapi tata shrinu. O king, in this way people in Dwapara Yuga glorified the Lord of the universe. In Kali Yuga also people worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by following various regulations of the revealed scriptures. Now kindly hear of this from me. This and the following verse from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam were spoken by the great devotee Sri Karabhajana Muni, one of the 9 Yogendras, while describing the incarnation and process of worship for the age of Kali. They are part of his reply to Nimi, the king of Videha, who inquired about the colors, features, names, times, and advent, and process for worshipping Lord Hari's incarnations. Krishna Varnam Dvisha Krishnam Sangopangashtra Parshadam Yajnai Sankirtana Prayayar Yajanti Hi Sumeda Saha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Kali Juge Sarva Dharma Hare Sankirtana Sabha Prakashilena Chaitanya Narayana. Lord Chaitanya inaugurated the congregational chanting of the holy names as the essence of all religious principles for the age of Kali. In his commentary on the Mundaka Upanishad, the senior Vaishnava Sri Madhva Muni has quoted the following verse from Sri Narayana Samhita. Dwapariyayar Janayar Vishnu Pancharatrais tu Kevalai Kalau tu nama mantrena Pujate Bhagavan Hari. In the Dwapara Yuga, people should worship Lord Vishnu only by the regulative principles of the Narada Pancharatra and other such authorized books. In the age of Kali, however, people should simply chant the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whenever there is a disagreement about the process of spiritual advancement, the process itself is generally criticized, but only the chanting of Harinam is undisputedly situated above all other processes of sadhana. In the first verse of his Sri Shikshashtaka, Sri Chaitanya Narayana has stated, Chaito Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirapanam Shreya Karaiva Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vartanam Pratipadam Purnamishtashvadanam Sarvatmashnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. The second and third verses of Sri Shikshashtaka also explain the process of chanting Krishna's names. The fourth verse explains the process of anartha nivritti, cleansing the heart of all unwanted things. The fifth verse explains the living entity's constitutional position. The sixth verse explains the state of a living entity who chants the holy name. The seventh verse explains the result of that state, and the eighth verse explains the symptoms of perfection. In his Bhakti Sandarbha and in his Krama Sandarbha commentary on Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhu has given the following process regarding the chanting of the holy names as instructed by Sri Gaura Sundar. Yajapyanya bhakti kalo kartavya tadatat kirtanakya bhakti samyogenaiva Although other processes of devotional service should be performed in Kali Yuga, they must all be accompanied by the chanting of the holy names. Kali Juge Sankirtana Dharma Palibare Avatirna Hoila Prabhu Sarva Parikare. In Kali Yuga, the Lord incarnates with his associates in order to maintain the religious principles of Sankirtan. Prabhura Ashnai Age Sarva Parikara Janma Labilena Sarva Manushabitara. On the order of the Lord, all of his associates took birth in human society. The associates of the Lord appeared on his order in the human society of this world in order to assist in Sri Gaura's pastimes. They are not ordinary human beings, prone to suffer the results of their past karma and subject to Yamaraja's punishment. Ki Ananta Ki Shiva Virinchi Rishigana Yata Avatarera Parshada Aptagana. Ananta, Shiva, Brahma, various sages, and the associates of all the Lord's previous incarnations all took birth as great devotees. Bhagavata Rupe Janma Hoila Sabara Krishna Ye Janena Yanra Amshe Janma Yanra. Only Gaura Krishna knew which associate took birth as which devotee. Karo Janma Navadipe, Karo Katigrame, Keha Radhe Odra Desha, Srihate Pachime. Some took birth in Navadip, some in Katagram, some in Radhadesh, some in Orissa, some in Srihata, and some in the west. Many devotees of the Lord, such as Srila Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, Sri Jagadananda Pandit Goswami, Pandit Sadashiva, Gangadas, Suklambara, Sridhar, Purushottama, Sanjaya, Hiranya, and Jagadish appeared in Navadip. Sri Pundarik Vijayanidhi, Acharanidhi or Premanidhi, Sri Vasudeva Dutt Thakur, and his brother Mukunda Dutt appeared in the village of Chatigram, presently known as Chattagram. Radha Desh refers to the place on the western side of the Ganges. Sri Nityananda Prabhu appeared in the village of Ekachakra, or Virchandrapur, in the district of Birbhum. Sri Satyaraj Khan and Sri Ramananda Vasu appeared in the village of Kulina, in the district of Vartamana, Burdwan. Sri Mukunda, Sri Narahari, Sri Raghunath, Chiranjiva, and Sulochana appeared at Sri Khanda. Many devotees like Sri Govinda, Sri Madhava, Sri Vasudev Ghosh, Dvija Haridas, and Dvija Vaninath Brahmachari appeared at Agradweep. The word Odra in this verse refers to Utkala, the state of Orissa, which is described in statements like Odra Kshetra, Orissa, is very famous in the abode of Purushottama, Lord Jagannath. Nanashtane avatirna hoila bhaktagana, navadipe ashi hoila sabara milana. Although the devotees appeared in different places, they all gathered in Navadip. Sarva Vaishnavera Janma Navadipe Dhamma Kona Maha Priya Dasera Janma Anyeshtane. Most of the Vaishnavas took birth in Navadip, and some beloved associates appeared elsewhere. Srivasa Pandita Ara, Sri Rama Pandita, Sri Chandra Shekhara Deva Trilokya Pujita. Srivas Pandit, Sri Ram Pandit, and Sri Chandra Shekhar are worshipped throughout the three worlds. Bhava Roga Vaija Sri Murari Namayanra, Sri Hata Esaba Vaishnavera Avatara. They, along with Sri Murari Gupta, who curses the living entities of their material disease, all took birth in Sri Hata. The word bhava roga refers to the disease of material life. In other words, bhava refers to the material miseries born of attachments to one's home. So this is a different bhava. So I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but it's different than bhava. That is like the divine, higher divine mood. This refers to the material miseries born of attachments to one's home. In this connection, one should refer to Jiva Goswami's Laghu Toshini commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has referred to Murari Gupta as a Vaidya or doctor. By doing so, he indicated that Murari exhibited great compassion on the living entities who had been averse to the Lord since time immemorial by destroying the seed of nescience and thus curing their disease of rebelliousness. Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur has never referred to Murari Gupta as a doctor of simply the material body. The incarnation of Vyasadeva and prime example of one recording the activities of the Lord and his devotees has thus confirmed that it is totally prohibited, hellish, and inauspicious to consider Lord Vishnu and the Vaishnavas as belonging to a particular caste and mode of nature. They are in fact transcendental spiritual beings. Pundarika Vijanidhi Vaishnava Pradana Chaitanya Vallabhadatta Vasudeva Nama Chaitigram Hoila Inha Sabara Parakasha Udana Hoila Avatirna Haridasa. Pundarik Vijanidhi, the topmost Vaishnava, Chaitanya Vallabha, and Vasudev Dutt all appeared in Chattagram. Haridas Thakur appeared in the village of Budana. Radhamaje Ekachakra Nama Achegrama Yane Avatirna Nityananda Bhagavan. The Supreme Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared in the village of Ekachakra in Radhadesh. Hadai Pandit Nama Shuddha Vipra Raja Mule Sarva Pita Tane Kari Pita Vyaja. The exalted Hadai Pandit was the king of the Brahmins. He was accepted as the father of Lord Nityananda, who is the original father of all. Kripa Sindhu Bhakti Datta Sri Vaishnava Dhamma Radha Avatirna Hoila Nityananda Rama. The ocean of mercy, the giver of devotional service, and the shelter of all Vaishnavas, Sri Nityananda Ram, appeared in Radhadesh. Mahajaya Jayadvani Pushpa Varishana Samgope Devatagane Kailana Takana. At the time of Nityananda's appearance, all the demigods secretly showered flowers and chanted Jai, Jai. Sayidina Hoite Radha Mandala Sakala Puna Puna Bandite Lagila Samangala. From that day on, the land of Radha began to prosper, and signs of auspiciousness became visible. Okay, so I'm going to stop there since it's time. Hari Dev Prabhu is going to continue reading Divine Guidance talks from our beloved Gurudev, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. And we will continue reading Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata tomorrow. Dandavat. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Dandavat, dear devotees, good morning. Divine Guidance by His Divine Grace Swami Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Before we continue reading Divine Guidance, let's remember what we were reading in the last chapter, which I didn't really understand what I was reading, but what I remember was Mukunda feeling so happy that he only has 10 million birds until he sees the form of Mahaprabhu. And because of that, Mahaprabhu said, "You already crossed those 10 million birds, so now you can see me." So it was something very interesting and mysterious to hear about these personalities, Mukunda Das. We were reading chapter on the way to Sri Vrindavan Dham. Please give me a few moments. Okay, let's read again the part of Mukunda. Mukunda sent a message with the devotees asking Mahaprabhu, "When shall I see your form?" Mahaprabhu answered, "After crores, 10 million, of birds, he will be able to see me." Hearing this, Mukunda became very happy and began dancing outside the entrance. "Oh, after only crores of birds, I will again see Mahaprabhu. Therefore, I have no problem. Crores of birds I can tolerate to again have his darshan." Hearing that, Mahaprabhu was happy and said, "Now he has already crossed those crores of birds and he can see me. He can come immediately." So the devotees called Mukunda, "Oh Mukunda, come, Mahaprabhu is calling you." But Mukunda said, "Mahaprabhu said after crores of birds, after 10 million birds. Then how can I go there now? If I go now, I will not be able to see the real form of Mahaprabhu. Only after 10 million of birds shall I be able to see, but not now. If I see him now, then will not be really seeing him. It will be illusion. So why shall I go there? I do not want to go there." Now Govinda Maharaj states, "Real vision is necessary, and that is the main thing. Otherwise, seeing the deity, the Dham, or anything else is only an exercise of the eye. It is not actual vision, and we shall not gain real benefit from that. But Mahaprabhu said, now his crores of birds have gone, and he can come and see me." Mukunda very much chastised himself that he had done wrong, and so had caused Mahaprabhu to at first refuse him entrance. Mahaprabhu then showed his real form to him. The main thing is that without devotion and transcendental knowledge, we can neither see the real Vrindavan Dham nor the real Nam, Rupa, Guna, and Lila, name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. All these are transcendental. Therefore, we cannot see them with our mundane eyes. That is the main thing. If we go to Vrindavan or stay in Navadvip, the same is true. But still, these places are holy dhams, and they emanate auspiciousness. We can touch a drop of that if we stay there without offense. In that way, we can touch the glow of that jyoti, that effulgence. The dham is covered by illusion, but even so, there is some brilliance, and that glow of I apologize. The dham is covered by illusion, but even so, there is some brilliance, and that glow or brilliance of the dham may touch us if we stay there without offense. But if we stay there too long, we may become overly familiar, and then that glow may leave us. That glow is something like light, but it is more than that. It is a transcendental world, and it is fully conscious. It was for our instruction that Mahaprabhu advised Jagadananda, do not stay in Vrindavan for a long time, as there is more possibility of making offense. And do not go upon Govardhan hill, because this hill is a form of Krishna. In the scriptures, it is mentioned that Govardhan has two forms. One is as a servitor, and the other form is as Krishna himself, who accepts service from the devotees. So, Mahaprabhu instructed Jagadananda, don't go upon Govardhan hill. And when you stay in Vrindavan, you must stay with Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Under their guidance, no problem will arise, and there will be less chance to make offense. If you stay with them, you will not make any offense there. Stay with Rupa and Sanatan is also a great responsibility, but but by my order you can stay there securely and follow their guidance. Later, there was a pastime where Jagadananda became very angry with Sanatan, but that is their lila. Actually, Jagadananda Prabhu is a Parsada, eternal associate of Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu is always teaching us through his devotees. The main principle is that when we go to Vrindavan, we must follow a devotee. To keep ourselves within the proper conception, we must take the shelter, ashraya, of a real devotee. Otherwise, if we think, I will do bhajan alone in Vrindavan, it may be most unbeneficial. Many of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples wanted to do bhajan there, but Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur did not agree with that. Not only that, but after he himself went to Vrindavan, he expressed, I am very unfortunate. I did not see there even one proper, perfect devotee. There were many Babajis in Vrindavan at that time, many of whom were famous and widely acclaimed to be Siddha Mahapurushas, perfect souls. But with his hands held to his forehead, Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur said, I did not see any perfect Vaishnava in Vrindavan. This is my misfortune. So, Govinda Maharaj continues, we must be cautious with our knowledge. Knowledge is a type of power and should be used wisely. This caution has been given to us in the books. But transcendental knowledge is another thing still. If we can use even mundane knowledge wisely, we must gain some benefit. It was for this reason that Mahaprabhu told Jagadananda Prabhu, when you are in Vrindavan, use your knowledge wisely, and you will be benefited. Follow Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, not by imitating their practice in life, their sadhana, but by following their directives. The scriptures advise us, you must follow what Krishna says, but you're not to try to imitate what he does. The advice of Śrīmad Bhagavatam is, do not even think to imitate Krishna or his powerful devotees. Lord Shiva digested an ocean of poison, but you have no capacity to do that. If you try, you will die. We have much news of the transcendental world, such as through the scriptures, but only when we can use that wisely and properly we will be benefited. Otherwise, we will be the losers. Everywhere there is some danger, so we should always exercise caution. Vrindavan Dham is transcendental, though the word transcendental does not seem sufficient to properly describe it. We can say spiritual world, but that is also insufficient. Vrindavan Dham is Chinmaya Dhamma. It is transcendental, it is conscious, but it is also more than that. Rupa Goswami gave a very nice shloka about that world and that type of ecstasy. Vyatitya Bhavanan. Vyatitya Bhavana Vartma Yash Chamatkara Barabuhu Hirde Sadvojvale Padam Svadate Sarasumadaha. He says, Vyatitya Bhavana. That plane is over and above whatever we can reach with the fullest extent of our knowledge. It is far beyond our understanding. It is inconceivable to us. But at the same time, it is so nice that we can even imagine it. We cannot even imagine it. But it is our own property and we can get it. Not only can we get it, but we must get it one day. Otherwise, we have no hope. Today or tomorrow, or maybe after millions of births. But we must get that. There is no other way for us. Śrīmad Bhagavatam says, Nirdeham adyam sulavam sudurlavam plavam sukalpam guru karna darham mayanukulo yena navavsvat heritam pumam bhavapim nataretsa atmaha. We must utilize this chance of our human birth immediately. We now have this human body, and it is very suitable for practicing Krishna consciousness. With other bodies like those of cows, horses, or trees, consciousness is insufficient. We are fortunate because now we have human body. Not only a human body, but a civilized human body with developed consciousness having taken birth in a suitable place. We are not as a jungle man. Therefore, having this human form with developed consciousness, one who does not take the opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness is a suicidal person. There is no certainty whether we will get another chance, so we must immediately take advantage of this opportunity. The devotee asks, Srila Maharaj, in the English civilization we never heard before about Goloka or Chinmaya Dhamma. In English there are no words to properly describe these things, so how are we to suitably express them? Srila Govinda Maharaj, in some way we shall try to give a description. We shall try to give some general direction. Srila Rupa Goswami did that also in his verse. Vyatiya Vavana Vartma Yash Chamatkara Bara Buhu Hirdi Sadbojavale Batam Zvadate Sarasomataha. It is beyond your intelligence, beyond your whole civilization, everything. Perhaps we can know up to the fullest extent of our civilization, but it is beyond that. Devotee. Rupa Goswami can express this using Sanskrit and Bengali words, and your divine grace can also. But how shall we translate the word divya? If we say divine, that indicates only heaven. And if we say consciousness, that is only general consciousness. There is no word for Goloka and no word for Chinmaya. We need to translate into English, but we don't have the appropriate words. Then what shall we do? Srila Govinda Maharaj, we will always try our best to express everything properly according to our capacity. Even our own understanding may not be real, actually, although our feelings tell us it is. In my own childhood, when I used to hear songs about Radha Krishna Lila, sometimes I will see it as if unconscious while imagining those pastimes. I will visually what is happening there, what Krishna is doing, what his associates are doing, and many things. Now I think differently, but at that time I thought what I saw was real. And when I will hear or sometimes sing the Gostya Lila songs about Krishna, coherent pastimes, I became fully attracted. Not only attracted, but completely charmed. Captured by that illusion, I consider myself as also going with that party for herding cows. That is an auspicious thing, no doubt. But now I can understand it was one kind of illusion. And by the grace of Srila Guru Maharaj, I was protected from being too much involved with it. In this way, no bad reaction came to me. Now I'm worshipping from a distance the whole of that realm. But at that time I was thinking, and very heavily feeling also, that I was actually part of that lila. Now I can understand it was something, but not the real thing. So there may be many things, but everything is mixed with a mundane conception. Srila Guru Maharaj and Sri Jajavar Maharaj used to talk together, and sometimes those talks were very heavy. Srila Guru Maharaj always supported the consciousness line, whereas Sri Jajavar Maharaj always analyzed and categorized everything. He will see things from an analytical viewpoint. Analyzing may not always be bad, but when you want to stand in the plane of consciousness, and if you can stand there, then you can see everything, otherwise not. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bichakshana kari dekite chas hile haya anki agochara. If you want to analyze everything, it will disappear from your view. If you want to analyze everything, it will disappear from your view. When you go to put your eye to that subject to look, scrutinize and analyze, it will then disappear. If you take that approach, it will be very difficult for you. But if you stay in the real conscious plane, everything will appear before you. There are two kinds of appearance, real appearance and illusory appearance. Where there is mundane consciousness, something is appearing. But we can say that is illusion. There are two kinds of appearance, Govinda Maharaja says. Real appearance and illusory appearance. Where there is mundane consciousness, something is appearing. But we can say that is illusion. That illusory appearance may sometimes be achieved by the application of the power of the yogis, or by the use of drugs. But it is all illusory. By controlling the senses, the yogis can stay in some plane of consciousness. But that is not the real Krishna conscious plane. Yamadibir yoga pataihi kama lova hato mukuhu mukunda sevaya yatbad tathad madha na shamyati. What we may see through the practice of yoga, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, dharana, dhyana, etc., is also the shadow, not the real thing. Through yoga, at best we can see only the light of Paramatma and have some connection with him, but we cannot attain to the pastimes of Krishna and the world of Krishna through that method. In Sri Brahma Samhita it is said, Premangyana churita bhakti bilochasena santaha sadaiva hirdayeshu bilokayanti yam shyama sundara machintya guna svarupam Govindam adi purusham tam maham bhajami. When my heart is full with Krishna prema, and my eyes are decorated with the love of dedication, and they get that transcendental vision, then I shall be able to see in my heart and everywhere those pastimes of Vrindavan. Devotion is a necessity. Srila Rupa Goswami clearly says that only by devotion is one able to feel and see everything. Sometimes devotees will ask Srila Guru Maharaj, what should I think about when I chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Should I think of the deity or the devotees or the paraphernalia? This is an amazing question. What should I think about when I chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Should I think of the deity or the devotees or their paraphernalia? Srila Guru Maharaj would reply, no, nothing. You only pray to Srinam. Please, show your form and chant without offense. When that transcendental Nama Prabhu will appear in your heart, your body will also become transcendental. Chinmaya Deha. So let's read this again, because at least for me it's really helpful when I have just started chanting my rounds 1 month ago in the Japa beats, and I don't know what to think about when chanting the holy names. Well, it is very difficult to not make offenses, and Srila Govinda Maharaj has stated that in a recording that I found on YouTube. He said it's very difficult to chant the holy names without any offense. But now reading that Srila Maharaj says, no, nothing. You only pray to Srinam. Please show me your form and chant without offense. When that transcendental Nama Prabhu will appear in your heart, your body will also become transcendental, Chinmaya Deha. So let's follow that Guru Maharaj instruction. Do not think about anything while chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Not even the deity, the devotees, or their paraphernalia. Just pray to Srinam, please show me your form, and try to chant without offense. Only then that transcendental Nama Prabhu will appear in our hearts. Our body will also become transcendental, Chinmaya Deha. Alright. The scriptures give us many directions about how to practice devotional life. They are something like instructions from an expert who can make a particular thing. An expert in electronics can build several tape recorders or radios every day. It is very easy for him. He is qualified so he can give instructions to others about how to do it. If you do like this and this, you will also be qualified, and you will find it to be a very easy thing. The scriptures come to us in a similar way. Vyasadeva and other rishis and munis are very expert, and they express, if you try to practice in this way, it is very easy. But actually, to go to that plane, it is very hard. We see that there are many disturbances, many offenses, and other obstacles. Simple, hard. Always the most simple things are the hardest things. Yeah, it reminded me when I was first reading Srila Prabhupada books, I was reading Easy Journey to Other Planets. And Srila Prabhupada said that it is very easy to practice Krishna consciousness. It's very easy to attain that, like the ultimate goal of reality. And then I started reading the Nectar of Instruction to read like the 6. Jai Mahaprabhu. And then I started reading for the first time the 4 different regulations, and I was like, how can this be easy? It is impossible. Alright. So the scriptures come to us in a similar way. Vyasadeva and other rishis and munis are very expert and they express, if you try to practice in this way, it is very easy. But actually, to go to that plane is very hard. We see that there are many disturbances, many offenses, and other obstacles, for sure. When one tries to start a generator, it is first necessary to do some cranking. A lot of power is required, and it is troublesome and difficult. But once the generator is running, it can produce full power. Maybe 1,000 kilowatts or more. At first, though. When one tries by hand to start it up for generating power, it is difficult. Similarly, our present stage is hard for us, no doubt. But once we get going, it will be easier. In the practicing stage, one feels something, some happiness, cleanness, enthusiasm, and many things. The first class stage, the highest stage, is when we can firmly stand in the plane of Krishna consciousness, and that is the Paramahamsa stage. In many places it is recorded that everything comes from Krishna and everything belongs to Krishna. To be fully in that consciousness is the Paramahamsa stage. When that consciousness will come, we shall easily harmonize with everything. Let's read this again. We read like Srila Govinda Maharaja is describing the different stages of practice. And now he's describing the first class stage, the highest stage. Is when we can firmly stay in the plane of Krishna consciousness. And that is the Paramahamsa stage. In many places it is recorded that everything comes from Krishna and everything belongs to Krishna. To be fully in that consciousness is the Paramahamsa stage. When that consciousness will come, we shall easily harmonize with everything. In the midst of the whole environment, we shall be able to tolerate everything. When that consciousness will come, we shall easily harmonize with everything. In the midst of the whole environment, we shall be able to tolerate everything. When Krishna established the Pancha Pandavas in their kingdom, he said to Kunti Devi, Now everything is settled here. Stay here happily. I am going to see my Dvaraka, my kingdom. Dwarka, my kingdom, and see how things are going on there. Krishna was ready to leave the chariot, and while standing in front of everyone, Kunti Devi approached him and prayed. Vipada santuhu taha shashvat tatra tatra jagad guru bhavato darshanam yad ashyat apunar vavadarshanam. My dear Krishna, you are thinking we're very happy now, but actually it is not so. We are very sad because you are going back to Dwarka. I do not want this kingdom. I can leave everything if only you will stay here. But now you won't stay, so rather I am praying that those earlier days of danger will again come to us, and that these present happy days will leave. I wanted those dangerous times because during danger we get your presence, and with your presence comes all auspiciousness. Whoever sees your face will not take birth in this mundane world again. The main point is that at first, when we start in our devotional life, some trouble must come. But once we are running, we will go very easily. We shall feel it to be a very easy thing to practice Krishna consciousness. When we are established in the faithful plane, we will have no problem. Only it is necessary to stay in the faithful plane, and then our chariot will run. However, the beginning part is difficult because our soul is covered by ahankara. Thus, we cannot differentiate between the ahankara and our soul. It is therefore necessary to engage in the initial cleansing practices in order to differentiate properly. Ahankaran nivirtanam keshavanahi duragaha ahankara jutanam hi madhye parvata rashaya. This is a verse from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. The obstruction is our ego, ahankara. The obstruction is our ego, ahankara. Ahankara means false ego, but that definition is not very accurate. Ahankara means particular kind of world, a whole world with so many things within it. My mother, my father, my brother, my wife, my house, my garden, my everything. And I can do this, I can do that, I have done it, and before me, my father did this and that. The Ahankara world is a very big world. It is not only ego, to say only ego, quote unquote ego. It is not sufficient, but it is an expanding world. If we can detach ourselves from that egotistic world, then immediately we can establish ourselves in the faithful plane. And after that we will have no problem. Therefore, I describe the Paramahamsa level as the plane from which, in our early analogy, the generator, it is already running. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came into this world to teach us the practical Paramahamsa class by his conduct, guidance, and speech. Wonderful paragraphs that we have been reading from our Divine Master Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaja. Divine Guidance Ki Jai. His Divine Grace Swami Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Very beautiful book, very easy to digest, and so helpful to remember what is our position. It is very difficult to see reality as it is with these mundane eyes, and we first must cleanse our heart. There is a ahankara inside, a lot of misconception. So remembering the past chapters that we were reading, we cannot do that by ourselves. We cannot get rid of this false ego by ourselves. We must surrender to our Guru. and practice Krishna consciousness properly by doing so. Just following the instructions of Guru. And we were reading this chapter that even Mahaprabhu, using his eternal associates, will instruct us how to practice properly. He will tell Jagadananda Prabhu to follow the instructions of Rupa and Sanatan, not by imitating them, but by following their instructions. So the same we must do. And Srila Govinda Maharaj is saying here that the obstacles are gonna come, and they must come. We just must keep following the instructions of our Guru or the Vaishnavas. That's it. As simple as that. And to finish these morning readings, let's remember what Srila Guru Maharaj replied when a devotee asked, "What should I think about when I'm chanting my rounds? The deity, the devotees, their paraphernalia, or what?" And Srila Guru Maharaj, in a very simple way, replied, "No, nothing. You only pray to Sri Nam. Please show your form and chant without offense. When that transcendental Namaprabhu will appear in your heart, your body will also become transcendental. Chinmaya Deha." Again, divine guidance by His Divine Grace, Swami Bhakti Sundar Govinda, the Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you, devotees. Whether you're watching us now or in the future, thank you for being here, engaging in Śravaṇa Seva with us. I apologize if I've made some offenses. I apologize, and thank you as well for your time and attention. We're going to chant the Hari Haraya Nama Krishna song by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Give me just one moment, dear devotees. Let me set this up. Hello, hello. All right. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Vaishnaparikara Shishi Guru Gaurchandagiri Rajju Ki Jai. Vaishnaparikara Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju Ki
Jai.
Jai. Morning class Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata Ki Jai. Jai Sri Divine Guidence Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramhamsa Paramahansa Varya Asura Sata Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramhamsa Paramahansa Varya Asura Sata Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupananda Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Vishwani Shalesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Shripad Bhakti Vigraha Nyasi Maharaj Ki Jai. All the world devotees Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Sannyas Vrinda Ki Jai. Samveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Haribo. Much love of affection to Bhima Krishna Prabhu, to also Bhakti Moni, and to Megan Maclo. Thank you for being here. Dandavat.